Texas seek recognition.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion to recommit at the desk.
Is the gentlewoman opposed to the bill?
I'm opposed in its current form.
The gentlewoman qualifies. The clerk will report the motion.
Ms. Jackson Lee of Texas moves to recommit the bill, H.R. 3354, to the Committee on Appropriations with instructions.
The motion.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, this is the final amendment to the bill, which will not kill the bill or send it back to committee. If adopted, the bill will immediately proceed to final passage as amended. While this amendment will not kill the bill, it will save lives. It does this by transferring $2.4 billion to the FEMA pre-disaster mitigation account, offset by eliminating the funding for the President's border wall and new funds for ICE to be used for an additional 10,000 detention beds. Mitigation is pre-planning. Mitigation is helping to mitigate the power outages all over the hurricane region. Mitigation is to...
The House will be in order. The gentlewoman's recognized.
I thank the Speaker. Mitigation is to minimize losses. When we listen to the better angels of our nature, we know in our hearts that this is a right and just and American thing to do. I, along with my colleagues, were an eyewitness to the devastation inflicted on southeast Texas and Louisiana when struck on August 25, 2017 by Hurricane Harvey. Our colleagues from Florida and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and those neighbors in the Caribbean are bearing similar witness to the terrible destruction caused earlier this week by Hurricane Irma. Irma has taken the lives of at least 75 persons to date, including 32 in Florida, 5 in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and maybe counting upwards, 37 in the Caribbean, but as well 8 seniors who died, and the numbers may be going up because of those who are critical, and a family of 6 in the state of Texas. 200,000 Floridians were housed in shelters as of Monday, and 7.2 million homes and businesses are still without power. Our hearts and prayers are with the victims of Hurricane Irma, and all Americans stand in solidarity with them and pledge to assist them in the long and hard work of recovery and reconstruction. Hurricane Harvey is a heartbreaking but also heartwarming story of horror and heroism. The epic storm dropped 21 trillion gallons of rainfall on Texas and Louisiana, most of it on the Houston Metroplex. To put this in perspective, that is enough water to fill more than 24,000 Astrodomes or supply water to the power of the raging Niagara Falls for 15 days. More than 49,000 homes suffered flood damage. More than 1,000 homes were completely destroyed in the storm. But in the response to Hurricane Harvey, the world also saw the large and small acts of courage and kindness that Americans are known for. Our volunteers, our military, our Texas National Guard, and many others. More than 13,000 people were rescued in Houston area by the U.S. Coast Guard, and the local first responders, police and fire and civilian volunteers risking danger to help their friends and neighbors and persons they did not even know. One of those who gave his life in service to others was Sergeant Steve Perez, who was funeralized yesterday, a 34-year veteran of the Houston Police Department, and he left his home that morning and said, "I've got to go to work. There are things that have to be done." And then there was a dreamer, Alonzo Guillen, who came to Texas. I thank my colleagues.
The gentlewoman's recognized.
I thank you. And then there was a dreamer, Alonzo Guillen, who came to Texas from Mexico as a teenager, who died when his boat capsized while he was rescuing survivors of the flooding. He was funeralized just a few days ago. That is who Texans are, and this is what Americans do. To date, Harvey has claimed the lives of more than 60 persons, including, as I said, 6 members of the Saldivar family who perished in Greens Bayou while trying to evacuate their flooded home and community. Madam Speaker, Hurricane Harvey was one of the worst, but not the first natural disasters to befall our country, and as Hurricane Irma demonstrates, it's not the last. That is why we need to pass this amendment so that FEMA has the resources to assist states ahead of time, U.S. territories, federally recognized tribes, and local communities in implementing sustained pre-disaster natural hazard mitigation programs. Pre-disaster mitigation funds help reduce overall risk to people and structures from future disasters, raise public awareness, and reduces future losses before disaster strikes. I might also mention it may deal with the issue of power loss ahead of time. Mitigation planning is key to breaking the cycle of disaster damage, reconstruction, and repeated damage. We needed it. We need more of it. Madam Speaker, we do not need another 10,000 beds in ICE detention centers. We do need more than 10,000 beds in evacuation shelters. We do not need to spend millions detaining law-abiding families. We do need to invest in sheltering disaster victims. This amendment will ensure we spend less on raids and roundups and more on rescues. Madam Speaker, we certainly do not need to spend $1.6 billion on a wall to stem the horde of bad hombres streaming across our southern border that exists only in the imagination or paranoia. Those numbers are down. No, the real immediate threat to the security of our homeland. We ask the support of the Jackson-Lee Amendment to provide for the safety and security of the American people.
The gentlewoman's time has expired. For what purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition to the motion.